We have to work on ourselves.
Hello, all my family. Hey, y'all. Hey. Y'all, I'm so excited about today. I'm so excited. And y'all showing up, y'all. And everybody not even here yet because some of them on later than 5 minutes CP time. But we're going to go ahead and get started because you know we're going to record this. So all the late people that's still making sure that they stay in tune or come back and watch the recording. But I am excited. I just want to tell you that if you are invited here today, and by the way, if you are a member of the Be Intentional Mentorship Community, soon to be the Be Intentional Mastermind Academy, we are allowed to invite guests to come to one session before they actually get empowered by joining this community. Okay. So from here on out, because a couple people asked me today, so I'll just go ahead and say it, and I'll put it in the chat so everybody knows. You can invite them to one session. Now, I did this before, and I had people that came 3 or 4 times. So I just want everybody to make sure that we're being accountable, and we can invite everybody to one session because I want people to see this fire that's in this community. So I don't mind letting them come on in here and see this fire. Okay. I grew up holding this for a little bit, so I know a little bit about fire. But anyway, yeah, so if you are joining us as a guest, welcome, welcome. We love you already. And make sure that whoever invited you as a guest sends you the link so that you can join the community. Because right now we're the mentorship community, but in May, we're going to become the Mastermind Academy. You're going to be able to get information from here that you can get nowhere else for whatever the subscription fee is, because it normally would be 5 figures and up to get the information. And you will get an example of that tonight because we got two powerhouses that is going to present for us tonight. One of them I've been knowing for I don't remember how many years. It feel like since we was babies, because it's just kindred spirits. So she has been a best friend for a very long time, Miss Alicia Taylor. I think she knows more than the textbooks. And I had an opportunity of meeting Miss Sharita Rael. I call her Raziki, is the most powerful wellness coach slash trust consultant slash y'all gonna figure out a whole bunch of other stuff that you will ever meet. And they are going to present to us today because there is a lot of misconceptions and just ignorance about how to set up and how to protect ourselves with trust. A lot of us know about wills, but we have no idea about trust. And we wanted to make sure that they give us some clarity, and they are mastermind coaches. So if you are here today, you're going to get a treat. But if you stick around or join our community, you're going to get a whole boot camp coming soon for free. Okay, y'all heard that word I said? For free. They teach us in insurance class and all those places to never say free. It's for free. All you got to do is pay the subscription, be a part of the community, and you ain't got to pay to get this knowledge. Okay. All right. So I'm going to get off my soapbox because I want them to have some time. Miss Sharita, I want you to introduce yourself, and then Miss Alicia, I want you to introduce yourself, and then however y'all have it set up, I've already set it up to be multiple participant screen, and it's already recording, so y'all can keep going. I'm not sure when y'all start presenting if it'll still let me see who's coming in, but if not, if y'all see somebody trying to get in, just click them in. All right, ladies.
So, peace, everyone. Um, so if everyone doesn't mind, is it possible to have your cameras on so we can really be present for this presentation? And if it's absolutely impossible, I get it. And at the same time, this is going to be an interactive experience. Because it's one thing to just get us trust, but it's a different thing to understand like this is a real life lifestyle. It's a mindset. It's a way of being. So, what's up? Peace, Oye. What's up, man? So our introductions will come on in the slides. So if you all don't mind, y'all ready to get started?
Yes, ma'am.
Let me actually, do we have a time for a vision moment real quick?
I mean, I think we always have time for a vision moment, sis. You know how that goes.
All right, cool, cool, cool. So if everyone could just close your eyes for a second. Close your eyes for a second. And I'm going to ask each of you to take some breaths with me. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And drown out all noise that's around you in through your nose, out through your mouth. Last one, in through your nose. Hold it and breathe out through your mouth and keep your eyes closed. And just take a moment to connect deeply with yourself and in this moment with this presentation. And continue to just take a deep breath. Let your shoulders drop. Release the day. Let your mind soften. And allow yourself to land in this space of vision and creation. Because today we're not just talking about trust. We're planting a seed. And this is for legacy. This is for protection. This is for possibility. Keep your eyes closed. I want you to imagine yourself standing in a field that's wide, that's open, and this land, you feel it beneath your feet. And this is the land your community, family, or business trust will one day hold. And I want you to breathe in the smell of the earth. Breathe that in through your nose. And as you exhale, I want you to see the foundation being laid, not just for buildings, but for belonging. And then I want you to think about who is there with you. Who does this land serve? What do you see in this moment? Is it your family? Is it your business? Is it elders? Is it youth? Is it other creators? Is it other visionaries? What do you see? These are all the creations and people that your trust will protect. And now I want you to see the faces of those who will be protected and empowered by your trust. Whatever your vision is it a child learning from elders, a family healing together, a business that's flourishing without fear, a community building something that will last for generations? I want you to see your living, breathing trust, not just on paper, but in your heart, because it's a part of your purpose. And in this last portion, I want you to really see your trust as a sacred structure, a strong, beautiful building, entity, house, land, whatever. And it's rooted in law, but very much guided by spirit. And inside are all of the assets you hold dear, not just your land, but your ideas, your family values, your efforts, and knowing that it's all safe, it's protected, and ever evolving. And I want you to really breathe in the fact that you're not just the author of this, you are the architect of this sacred structure. And allow yourself as you continue breathing to feel the ripple of your trust and how it sends out all of its blessings to the world. What it changes, what difference it makes in how it protects you and the people it's here to serve, the assets that have a purpose. And remember, it's not just you owning things, but you are the steward of everything you create. And because you have this safe place to create, I want you to feel the peace with that, the strength with that, the clarity. And as you breathe in deep once more, I want you to set a silent intention for your legacy. What do you want it to do? Who do you want it to serve? And how do you want to feel? Knowing that you authored this legacy. And for the last time, take a deep inhale through your nose and out through your mouth. And when you're ready, slowly open your eyes. And if you feel so inclined to jot down or write down anything that you saw, do so. Because we just had a vision catalyst moment and you just planted a seed in your subconscious. And now we want to bring it to reality. So if you have a moment to write it down or type it, please do so. And if we have time during the presentation, we can open the floor to share. Cool? All right. So with that being said, let's get started. Lee, do you want to share anything before we start?
Nope, let's get started.
Awesome sauce. All right. So you all, welcome to, and I'm just going to share it on this view right quick because I want to be able to see everybody still. So this is Trust Essentials. I am Sharita Riel. This is Alicia Taylor.
Hello, Alicia Taylor.
Yes. So I am founder and owner of the Vision Catalyst, of Akura Temple and Wealth and Wellness Trust. And as mentioned on the call before, some others know me as Riziki Zafira. And we have...
I'm Alicia Taylor. I am the founder of Soul Trust Group and Soul Ministry. And I'm a woman of few words. So we'll just get into it.
Yeah, so before we get into the press, y'all, we want you to know who you're talking to, why we're here, our big why, right? So I'm going to make this super long story as short as possible, but in essence, I'm a creator, right? Everything from managing artists, I used to do a lot of events. My background in mass communications and media, radio production, TV production. And in that journey of mass communications, radio, advertising, I also got into marketing, graduated college, started my career in marketing and advertising. And even in that, I was learning so many things when it came to business and international travel. As a matter of fact, my first business license was in Kenya. So my mind was already into the space of expansionness. My mind was already in the space of being unbounded and just being here to create everything that God gave me in my vision. And during this journey, I did come across a community. They are called the Moors. And while I was learning about becoming a private citizen, this is where I was first introduced into trusts. Understanding that there are these trusts that exist that are meant to serve as a means of protecting assets as well as legacy. So as a creator, no matter if I'm producing a mini series, if I'm doing photo shoots, if I'm creating projects, if I'm a part of a community farm and we're growing food, it was such a great space to be in to create. And at the same time, as you saw in this first slide, our Black Wall Street, we know about a lot of our Black Wall Streets that were thriving. However, everything that was created was destroyed or taken away. So in my journey, I'm with this mindset of, oh my gosh, I want to create all these things. And then just in my ancestral journey, I'm like, man, well, how do we keep this going? How do we protect it? And so again, my introduction to creation was not only creating art and media and campaigns for other companies and celebrities, but it also led me to create a space for myself where I could be really fulfilled, meaning that although I was in this space of radio, advertising, marketing, making great money, I was not happy personally. So this is what kicked off my journey in health and wellness, to not only get to know myself, but to see how I can also serve and empower others. And in that, I became certified in all types of modalities. I also started creating communities in which now I have a temple and I help other temples constitute themselves. And we actually have a convention of temples because I understood through faith-based organizations is one way that we can not only operate in private, but also protect our assets and also experience a lot of tax benefits. And by the way, I'm a 508, not a 501. Nothing wrong, but this is just my journey. So through creating these spiritual communities, I came in contact with a lot of wonderful people, in which one of them, we now own land, 10 acres of land in Wilkes County. Another group of people are other visionaries and entrepreneurs and business owners who not only were coming to me for wellness advice and wellness sessions and medicine ceremonies and all the wellness modalities that exist, but I also found myself consulting in business as I am getting the type of clients who also have businesses and land and assets and all the things. And so Vision Catalyst was birthed because it's this journey of integrating wellness and business, but more importantly, it's also a space where I like to curate safe spaces for people to create. So what does that mean? That means that everybody that I'm coming across as a creator, rather it's an idea, rather it's you're acquiring an asset, rather it's creating a community and you want to build something. The key is, yes, we can create, yes, we can build, but how do we protect it and how do we pass it on? And how do we benefit tax-wise and in any other way that all these other communities are benefiting that we're not taught in our communities? So in this journey of trust and educating about trust, I met Atrina. Beautiful experience. And through Atrina is also how I met Lee. And the reason why Lee is so dynamic in my work is because she not only understood the public side I was operating in as far as business and entertainment and all the things, but she also very much understood the private side dealing with my 508 Temple community, nationality, and all the things. And so with that being said, my big why is because everything that I'm here to create and everything that and everyone I'm here to help create, I want you to make sure that what you're here to create is protected. I want us to make sure what we create is going to last here long after we're gone. And I also want to make sure we know the same tools, insights, and strategies that all these other communities know, protecting $700 million in tax-free money, but that's another story at another time. Okay, we're gonna get into it, Lee. But that razzled my dazzle. It made me a little PO'd that they know all this and we don't. So let's get into it before. Let me get my grounding stone. Go ahead, Lee. Sorry.
Hi, everybody. That's a phenomenal woman. And I'm thankful and grateful to Artrina Tillman for introducing me to her because she does serve many modalities. Like I said, she's phenomenal. But as she said, because of the introduction through Artrina to me, we vibed, we connected on a spiritual level, and we started talking about the thing that I am most passionate about, which is trust. And like she said, something about a little bit on the private side, but that's a conversation for a different day. Where I started with trust was about, I don't know, 16 years ago. I started looking at trust and realizing how powerful of a thing, whether it be temporal or whether it be spiritual or whether it be physical, that getting trusted up was. So through that time and coming forward to today, I realized that protecting your family, protecting your businesses, protecting the community is so, so, so important. And I had an opportunity to understand why this was so important because I lost some people in the last few years. I lost my mom, and more importantly, not more importantly, but I lost my brother, and my brother was 47 years old, and he left 5 baby girls behind. Those baby girls, he didn't have a trust, he didn't have a will, but he did not have a trust. So those baby girls are left out here in this world. They don't have any legacy. They don't have anything. They don't, you know what I'm saying? And it's sad. And so now in my walk, in my journey, in my path, I'm motivated and driven to make sure that I ensure that those babies and the rest of my family, and as you can see, I'm showing pictures here of my family because that's what's important to me. Down to that little new baby, that's my 3-year-old granddaughter. Her name is 7. And these people are really my why as to why I choose to do this thing and why it's so important to me to make sure that the rest of the lay people like myself know about this. That death paperwork checklist up there at the top of the screen, y'all, that was a wake up call for me. Because like I said, that was September 12th, 2023, the day my brother died. And throughout the whole thing, I've been standing on a soapbox for 15 years. I've been talking to people, I'm in another industry, and in the other industry, I get to see people all day long. So all day long, I'm telling people why they need to trust. I'm telling people why they need to get their affairs in order. I'm letting people know what's going on in the world today and what they need to do to protect themselves from everything that's coming down the pike. I do it all day long. We're talking about money. We're talking about real estate. We're talking about stocks, bonds, securities, you name it. We're talking about intellectual property, copyrights, trademarks, anything that you got that you've authored or created in any shape, form, or fashion. You guys, it can be protected in a trust. It should be protected in a trust. And that's what me and Sharita are here to help you learn to do today.
Today. Okay. Were you complete, ma'am?
I'm done.
Okay. Y'all, we have a thing, so just rock with us for a second. All right. So let's keep it going. So about us, y'all, look, you know about us individually. So we came together to merge and trust education, wealth building strategies, and transformational leadership to provide a well-rounded approach to legacy creation and economic empowerment. So mission and vision, I don't have to get into that. I think you kind of get that gist. So today's objectives, y'all, let's get into it. You're going to learn a little bit about what a trust is,
why you need one,
a family trust,
a business trust,
and a community trust. Okay, listen, I'm trying to be professional, but look, whatever. Y'all just gonna get to know me tonight. Okay, I get excited. Let's get into it. So, what is a trust? Now, metaphysically speaking, we understand how important trust is just within us as human beings, right?
Right.
And we'll give you all some other resources so that you can understand the history of trust and just get a full breakdown. But what is a trust? Essentially, a trust is something that helps you protect your assets. It can be used as a funding vehicle. We're not going to say as an investment tool. We're not going to say that, but we're going to say a funding vehicle. And then we're also going to talk a little bit about the generational wealth. And so again, asset protection mainly deals with protecting your assets from creditors, government agencies, and even the IRS. All right. The funding vehicle, the ability to disperse income to beneficiaries. And I want to be very clear on this. Trusts do not have to be beneficial only when you die. It could literally be leveraged today, right now, while you're alive. Same with a lot of these life insurance policies. A lot of these things you don't have to wait until you die to benefit. You could do that right now. So dispersing income to beneficiaries, distributing income to shareholders, as well as raising funds for community organizations. And of course, generational wealth, you can leave behind values, liquid assets, stocks, bonds, all the things that Miss Alicia Taylor discussed. And you have no worries about courts or probate, which is something I witnessed my mother go through, and it was horrific. All right. So first, we're going to get into a family trust. Lee, take it away.
So family trust is all about generational wealth and legacy, obviously. And the purpose of family trust, or what they do, is they hold and manage assets on behalf of your family. So basically, let's just say we've got Miss Tillman. Miss Tillman has houses and cars and things of that. She has businesses, but we're going to focus on the houses and the cars and some of the personal assets she may have. Jewelry, bags and shoes. I don't know. You name it, whatever you want to say that you have, she has it. Diamonds, whatever. Any of those things that you have, if you put them in a trust versus having ownership of them personally, they're protected. So something could happen to Miss Tillman tomorrow. Listen, the people could decide they want to take all of her things because she goes bankrupt. Well, just because she goes bankrupt, the trust does not. So I just basically, in a nutshell, told you what a trust does and what the benefits are in a nutshell.
And so as we're going through this, fam, you're going to be able to pick up some keys and strategies into leveraging. And I want to also, open the chat or the floor for those of you who actually participated in that visualization. Did you see your family? Did you see your elders? Did you see your children in that journey, right? And your assets that could be passed down according to your wishes and not the government's, right? And when you're thinking about your family, this is again something that protects the family from legal disputes, again, creditors, or even, here's the biggest one, misuse of resources. Okay, because if a lot of our families are not financially educated, what happens is a lot of times there could be a settlement, rather if it's because you're passing or whatever the case, and then funds are disbursed, but that wealth is gone less than 5 years because no one was financially educated. Well, instead of leaving your children as a beneficiary, you could actually leave the trust as a beneficiary, and then you list the instructions on how the disbursement can be paid out. And again, whatever benefits or income is coming to anybody in the family, it could be any income. It doesn't have to be just life insurance. It could be any income that goes to the trust, which also alleviates you, the person, from certain tax things.
Absolutely. And a big thing that I want to touch on is those disbursements or distributions, because they're in trust, IRS can't touch them.
Hello. Go ahead, Artrina. Go ahead.
I just wanted, you said you wanted some participation. So I just wanted
Go
to,
ahead. I'm listening. My phone is alarming. Go ahead.
okay. I just wanted give some real life examples. And Leah's right. I got all that stuff she was saying. And if something happens today and one of y'all decides y'all don't like me no more, but I have a trust, you can't touch it. So everything that I have in my home, my Mercedes, my everything that I have, if somebody comes after me, they can't touch it. If the IRS comes after me, they can't touch it. And then I have a real life situation that I'm going through right now today with one of my family members who has a huge multi-million-dollar business that's going through this same thing, that somebody is trying to take their assets. Somebody, they just went through lawsuits. They just went through all kinds of things. Trust protects all of that. So if somebody comes after them and says, you owe us $500,000, but literally everything they have is in their trust, their home, their cars, their businesses, their diamonds, their everything is in a trust. When they go
Everything.
after them,
Everything.
then now the court is going to say, oh, they don't own nothing.
Right.
So you can't take anything. So
So
this right here, I'm going to shut up, but this is phenomenal because I'm literally going through the real life situation right now, not personally, but with my family. So that's personal.
And to just to piggyback on that, if you guys ever heard the term own nothing, control everything, this is what they're talking about.
This is it.
Own nothing, control everything. So
Right.
that person who's going through that, if they had these things in trust, the man could say you owe me $2 billion, but he can't take $2 billion because he ain't got it. The trust does.
Right.
So, and this is where the trust owns everything and all you do is controlling it.
That's it. That's it. So with that being said, let's move on to business trust, because most of us in this room are business owners, entrepreneurs, and or aspiring to be, right? So a business trust, again, is a legal entity that holds and operate business assets under the management of trustees for the benefit of the designated beneficiaries / shareholders. Now, these are certain terms that as we get deeper into the classes, you'll learn more about. But it's all of us in this room and some of our family members or whoever we decide to be a part of this structure. And with the business trust, it does offer liability protection against, again, tax advantages, continuity in leadership, and increased privacy for business operations. So one of the things I absolutely love about the business trust is simply, again, what Lee talked about, own nothing and control everything. So as far as transferring my LLC interests, my business bank accounts, my intellectual property, all of that can go into the trust. I'm an author. I make short documentaries, like all the things that I, as a creator, under my business, I want to be able to protect this in the trust. It is also serving as a foundation of licensing deals, contract work, business credit, And also within business trust, you are able to set up clear instructions on how your business can operate without you. And again, you don't have to be dead. It's just like an operation manual. Okay, well, for one, here's my trust. Okay. And we'll give a real live example later on as far as some land, right? So if I'm in Kenya somewhere opening up another wellness resort center, and I need some business handled here on the 10 acres we acquired out in Wilkes County. Well, one of my trustees are legally
Able to
able
or
to, permitted to
educate. Mhm.
handle business on my behalf. Right. And it's based on the instructions that I give. And again, this is no court system involved. This is no IRS involved. This is no agencies, outside agencies of what I desire to be involved. So when you're in a space that everybody comes from different spaces, right? So I can speak for me when I'm in a space of community, like real life community, like we heal together, we chill together, we build together. So there's real life trust within each other
That's
for
right.
somebody in my community to be my trustee. I don't have to pay somebody at a lawyer's office to be my trustee. I can if I choose to, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? But I want us to realize like the original forms of trust literally came from us simply trusting each other.
That's it.
Right.
That's
And
it.
and knowing who to put in certain positions to be the steward of assets. All right. And in the history, you'll learn it first started with the church. Well, one of the main things that first started with the church, which is why, I also created Simple Community. All right. And then the last thing is, keeping your personal liabilities separate from your business ones, right? Especially important for solopreneurs and family businesses. All right. So definitely business trusts are importante for that one. Anything you wanted to add, Lee, on this one?
No, we want them to get the meat in the classes. So,
Okay. I can dig it. Am
no,
I going too fast, y'all? I'm gonna check the comment. It feels
I
dry.
think
No, you
Let me
good. I want you to get
get
through
a
it
space.
because
Okay.
they
I
got
got
an hour.
Okay, yes, ma'am. All right. So community trust, last one. Community trust, what it does, again, a legal structure that holds and manages shared assets such as land, resources, or funding. And it's for the collective benefit of a group or mission-driven community. And it fosters collective ownership, ensuring long-term protection of the community resources. It supports shared values and empowers sustainable development. And community trusts are one of my favorite. I want to show y'all these, and then we're going to get into these real life case studies and then open the floor for questions. So, well, I'm sorry, Lee, anything you wanted to add for community trust?
no, just keeping in mind that community trusts are inclusive of we got educational, we got recreational, we
Right.
got what am I trying to say? Charitable,
Right.
right?
So
So we want
anything that deals with like ministries,
civil,
cooperatives, land projects,
civic, right?
PMAs, nonprofits, social movements, all of these can be all of these can create a community trust, right? And it aligns with a lot of our models of shared wealth, mutual aid, and a shared sense of sacred responsibility, especially for our community, right?
Right.
So some of one of the examples we'll explore today is, we'll just look at the example. Let me just start there. All right. So first instruction, and I'm going to put this in the chat, is to everyone can download our ebook for family trust and community trust. On the Stand Store, the business trust ebook will be coming out shortly. So sign up on that email list and we'll make sure you get notified when that comes. And then now I want to get into the case studies because one of the things that we love is receipts, and I don't like teaching anything we haven't accomplished. So case study number 1, y'all, here we go. So here you see Wealth and Wellness Trust, which is me, and then the Great I Am Trust, which is a sister student / business partner of mine. All right. So in this case study, I'll first say that my Wealth and Wellness Trust, I thought it was going to be a family trust, but it's really turning into its own community trust, right? So the Great I Am Trust is authored by this sister here, Kidra Payne, who's also, again, a Tantra graduate of mine, a business partner of mine, and she's now a temple owner. So I also help constitute 508 temples. So we just acquired 10 acres of land in Wilkes County. This is
Just to interject the thought, just interject that the Great I Am is a family trust, everybody. That's a
correct.
family.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that. Yes. Great I Am Family Trust and Wealth and Wellness Community Trust are doing business. Okay. So, we have our 10 acres of land. We go to the courthouse, file our paperwork. As a matter of fact, I got to say this. Our trust is so good. When we were in the lawyer's office, they was like, man, if we put this in this name immediately, if y'all defaulted on the payments, we would never get our land back. So when we deal with trust, we make sure that once it's yours, it's really yours. And so this has been an exciting journey. I never knew on December 20th of last year I was going to be part landowner, and like little things like taking people out on a tour or digging our pits for the septic tank, like these little movements are really real for us. And so in my trust, not only do I have my land deed, and as you can see, my land deed, the deed of ownership is under my temple, right? As well as me owning, which has nothing to do with the land, but I want to be clear that my trust also owns my birth certificate. So there's a lot of things that you can utilize the trust for. The trust even owns my DNA, right?
Okay, that's
That's another class. I know. I got you. I got you. So my point is this, y'all. When it comes to trust and how we move, or how one can move, and I have the word the web here because I really like using trust to create an ecosystem. Okay. Ecosystem meaning that I have business, I have land, I have the thing that's going to fund my trust so it can fund my business and take care of my land. And then if I want to do business with another trust privately that I don't have to report to anybody for anything, I can do that. Why? Because we're operating in trust, right? So that's case study number one, living, breathing that as we speak. Case study number two, daily applications. Go ahead.
okay. So this is a living estate trust. This is perfect example of not people who are still alive and still operating in trust. This is a really good example. So you can get anything that you want, that you're doing business as daily, utility bills, your mortgage, your lease, whatever you have can go in trust. You just have to know what to do and how to do it.
Ashe. Okay.
I got a question.
Yes.
What is the purpose of putting your bills in a trust? What is that protecting you from?
I don't know if I really want to say all of that on the call, but
Give me a brief synopsis of why, because you're telling me to put all my bills in a trust. I understand why I would put my land and my stuff that people could take from me, but
okay.
if somebody
Okay.
comes after me,
Okay.
what about my
Okay.
bills would they take?
All right. So it when you live in trust, because we're literally talking about walking and talking and living and breathing in trust. When you operate as such, you now make the United States of America responsible for what they're responsible for.
Oh, that's too much right now.
Exactly, which is why I didn't
Yeah.
really want to get into that. But what I will tell you is this. If that living estate trust utility bill, that's a water bill, and they went and verified with the county that that was an actual trust, okay? And when they verified that, they're now obligated to set the utility up, and they can't disconnect the utility unless the trust tells them to.
Okay, now that makes sense. I got it.
So
Okay.
I'm
That's like
saying,
it's another master class. It's another class.
Got
right,
it.
Yeah.
okay,
Okay.
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 At
Okay.
all. So
Yeah.
I'm saying at all.
At all. Right.
At all. You
Right.
can get you can
I knew this, Lee, because you done taught me this, but I didn't want anybody on here to be saying, why would I put my bill in a trust? Because if you don't understand trust, it doesn't make sense. But I understand, like the other people know, that my entire life should be in trust, because then everything in my life is protected. So how
Yeah.
most melanated people start over and over and over and over and over and over, we wouldn't have to do that if everything was always protected. We could just start from where we are and keep moving. So I get it.
That part, good. And I get it, good. Francis gets it. Sanitra says, this is deep. Yes, it is, honey. Yes, it is.
It's real deep.
And
It's
this is
real
just
deep.
the surface, ma'am. Okay, and then the last case study, I'll give y'all the Lake Claire Community Land Trust. This is in Georgia. This is like the first living, breathing trust that I've experienced, right? And it inspired me in so many ways. You can look this up. So real quick, it was this area in Atlanta. Now, mind you, this journey was a 40-year journey. But the story is so beautiful because it talks about it teaches about patience. It teaches about community coming together, and most importantly, succession. Okay. So real quick, there was this area in Atlanta that wasn't really being used. And then as people started wanting to make it a beautiful green space, they started acquiring parts of the land. So as time goes on, they really wanted to protect it. However, MARTA, which is the public transportation system at the still there at the time, was also, building out and expanding and all the things. And so, make a long story short, there was a threat to this particular parcel of land to where MARTA would have been able to run their tracks through this parcel of land. And because the community came together and over years bought up the land and also taught their children how to be good stewards of the land. So 40 years later, so in the 1940s is when the acquisition started. And then by the 1980s, you had the successor trustees doing this beautiful ceremony of burning the paid in full note, because now the land is paid in full. Now it's protected in a trust. And now the city can't even run a public transportation track through it. That's how powerful trusts are. And so I want to take it deeper with community trust, right? Because mind you, this is called the Lake Claire Community Land Trust because it took community to buy it, and it was for community. And in this space, and which is so passionate for me, is where I was doing the sweat lodges. I learned about composting. I was teaching composting. I was learning about agriculture, our community learning how to grow our own food. But what was also beautiful was that these microscopes, these seeds, this testing equipment were a partnership from these organizations with the trust, right? So now the Lake Claire Community Land Trust is continuously being funded by these other organizations and or businesses that are putting their money into a vehicle that also gives them tax incentives. And at the same time, you're building, protecting land as well as leaving legacy as well. So these case studies, these different ways that you're able to really utilize a trust to protect ourselves and to grow our wealth. And more importantly, like Trina said, why does every generation have to start over? It's nuts. Nonsense. We don't have to. Yeah, we're not supposed to.
We're not
and
supposed
then the final slide I have, so on the link that Atrina will give you, we do have a Trust Essentials 101 course. These are pre-recorded videos. You get downloadables, all the things you need to know about a trust before you start creating one. The code we have for you all is Be Intentional. So I think it's 30% off? 20%. Y'all get a percentage off. Y'all get a percentage off. Class is $197, but y'all get a 30% off if you enroll by this Friday. But I'll close by saying, and Lee, please, close after me if you like. It's one thing to have the paperwork, but when you're really educated about it, you become so creative on how to use it and leverage it for your own benefit and the benefit of others. And before you decide, or as you're deciding to create your trust, we really encourage you to, get the trust consultation, enroll in the classes, because we haven't even talked about terms and conditions. We haven't even talked about, all the other things that can be protected and certain trainings that you're going to need as you move through your life doing business. When you have a trust and you have a business, you move different now. How
Very
you
different.
roll is different now, right? So I'll leave that there. Lee, any?
Just to piggyback off what she said. So my whole life is trust. I don't operate outside of trust. I'm private. I'm extremely private. And Trina and Sharita know that, which is why I don't talk a whole lot. Because I'll say some things and people will be like, what? So my whole life is trust. And it's so crazy. There are stories that we could tell, that we could share because of being in trust. People will be
Can I
like,
share one? Can I share one?
Go ahead, girl. Share.
go ahead, Trina.
Y'all ain't gonna believe this story, but I'm gonna tell you right quick. So me and Lee, this kind of got something to do with trust, and it got something to do with her
It
being
has
private.
everything to do with trust.
So
Yes.
listen, me and Lee, she been telling me these stories all our life, and I had a chance to experience it. We were on our way to Atlanta to catch a flight. Lee was driving. She's a speed demon. She was probably driving about 100, at least 100. It might have been a little bit more than 100. So we got pulled over, right? So you know me, I'm listening to her all these years, but I'm like, oh shoot, we about to get a ticket. We ain't gonna make it to the airport, all this other stuff. So the police, I'm gonna tell this story real short, just so y'all can see how powerful it is, because I could tell it for an hour, but I'm gonna tell it in 3 minutes. So the police comes up to the car. The police ask for her driver's license registration. She says she doesn't have a driver's license, but she's able to travel. We all know what that means when you get deeper into the classes. And so
Right.
basically she is not governed by these United States laws. And so the police officer
Neither am I, by the way. Neither am I.
so the police officer looked at her like, what? So I'm sitting in the passenger seat like, oh, Lord, we about to go to jail. So she ain't telling the police nothing. She gives him cards or tell him she got paperwork and just basically say, look me up. The police officer kind of knows what she's talking about. But if y'all don't already know, most police officers don't even know the laws and the statutes of the United States. They don't teach them that when they go to the academy. No disrespect to police officers. I have some great friends that are police officers, but they just don't learn this stuff. So the police officer went back and forth with her a little bit. And because he got frustrated because he didn't really know what she was talking about, he got a little grumpy. And so because she knew I was afraid, she went ahead and said, okay, you can take me out of the car. The police officer took her out of the car and put the little ties things around her wrist. I said, oh Lord, Lee about to go to jail. I don't know where I'm at. I can't drive this car. I was going crazy. So I called one of her friends that's also very well versed in trust and being a private citizen. And I told him what was happening. He said, don't worry about it. She'll be back in the car in a minute. I was like, wait a minute. No, she ain't got no license. She was going 110. She done told this police officer, basically, you don't know me and you gonna have a bad day when you do this. And you said, what? He was like, y'all will be at the airport in a minute. This debacle went on for about 15 minutes. They put her in the back of the police car. About 15 minutes later, they took the things off her wrists, told her to get back in the car, and told us to have a nice day. I was floored. I was like, what just happened? Then the
We
police
say
officer,
injunction.
hold on. Then the police officer said, Miss Alicia, can I just ask you to do me one favor? Can you just slow down a little bit? Because this might be dangerous for you to drive that fast. Lee told the police officer, no, sir, I can't do that, especially now because you've made me late for my flight. So now we have to speed. And we sped off and we went to the airport. And that's it. Ain't nothing else happened. We ain't getting no tickets. Ain't nobody come after us. Now, I was in the car like, what the hell just happened?
And see that right there, and even though Trina hasn't ever been with me in those situations, but it's real life. So,
and that's only one situation.
That's only
I've
one
seen many more with Lee.
Yeah.
So this thing isn't just about assets. It's also about protecting
yourself,
as a human being.
And it's like I said, living in trust is something different, y'all. It's something different. So, but all I'm going to say is I encourage you guys just to start with just the trust. Just start with the basic trust, whether it just be a family trust, a business trust, or you want to do something huge and you want to interact with other organizations in the community and do something to help the community, to build wealth in the community. Do the community trust. All I'm saying is get yourself a trust. Okay.
And I'll say this too, even with the temple community, our community trust is dedicated towards getting assets and more things that are tax exempt. So even for those of us who are operating in ministry and you don't know that you're operating in ministry, churches are also a form of a trust.
They are in a form.
Believe it or not. Well, yeah. Churches are also, so understanding that I personally haven't paid the tax since 2015 and I'm not lawfully or legally obligated to either because I've been operating in trust for that long, rather it be through my family trust, this community trust, or my church or my temples.
So I just want to say, oh, go ahead. Y'all finish.
I was gonna say,
Ariel.
I think we, Ariel, are you saying something? You asking a question or saying something?
I said that this is so good. Like this has been a conversation that I've not only a conversation, but I have a trust that I know isn't fully set up properly, but I did it when I was about 22 years old. And I've been having this conversation around American nationalism for some time. And what it was for me, the reason I started this journey, and I really, sometimes we're in a room, a tight room, but a lot of people don't have these conversations because it's so it's out of the normal construct of what we've been operating, of how we've been told to live.
We're in the matrix.
Exactly, but when you truly understand the protection that it has for our community specifically, you get to operate with a freedom that there's a responsibility to it as well, family. It's not irresponsible. And that's what I really want us to understand. This is a conversation of responsibility. This is a conversation of freedom. This is a conversation of integrity. And when you find the right resource, because there are people who are having this conversation in the wrong way, right? And I call it in the shadows, not in the light. But when you're in integrity with this conversation, it's good. It's amazing. It's great. It's great to know who you truly are within this entity of America, because this is an entity.
And that right there is the biggest lesson of choice that I would say people need to start with to help alleviate fear and skepticism. When you realize that America, the United States of America, is a business. And we all signed up. We all signed up through contracts to participate in this business called the United States of America, which then puts us in a jurisdiction to be subject to certain statutes and codes. What this lifestyle does is reversing the curses of the contracts we all agreed to with the business called the United States of America, or we can still keep them if we choose, but go in between through with the trust. And when I operate in the private, I understand that I'm in a total different jurisdiction called common law, and I utilize my ministry and all those things in that space.
Okay.
And so it is, and
I gotta add.
and I gotta say this, because this is super important. In my journey, even before meeting Lee, I don't care how much money you got. I don't care what your goal, like if your integrity is not where it need to be, I'm not teaching you nothing. I'm not sending you nowhere, because you are right. This takes a level of maturity, trust. It takes a journey of social responsibility, right? Because this was the way we lived when we governed ourselves. When we did not need another entity outside of us to tell what our communities needed to do. So So I'll just say for me, I'm not.
I just got to make sure that we're on this, that everybody understands something. The United States of America is not just a business, it's a trust.
It's a trust.
It's a trust. So therefore, the reason why common law is the highest law is because the United States of America, the Bill of Rights, the Constitution is common law. So I want to be clear that even though we're talking about we're operating outside of the United States, we're operating outside of the corporate jurisdiction of the United States. But when you're operating in trust, you're actually operating at on the highest level in
Right.
conjunction with and cooperation with the United States of America in trust. So it's very lawful. It's very
And
lawful.
you'll notice the difference of treatment you get. Let me tell y'all something. When we was in that office with that lawyer signing the papers with the land, first off, paper. Something as simple as using nicer paper than the rest. Like,
oh my gosh.
It's these codes that when we sign in our name UCC-1-30, and he like, oh, you know what yeah. And we sure do, and we should do. Oh, you have an unincorporated a 508. Oh, I want to learn what that. Oh, the private. Oh, yeah. And the treatment was such on a different level, and that experience really confirmed it ain't race so much. It's literally
Knowing who you are.
And knowing who you are.
It's knowing who you are. If you know who you are and you tell them and you let them know you know who you are, they treat you with a different level of respect.
Let me wrap up, and then whoever wants to stay, if anybody wants to stay for a few minutes after I wrap up, if you have any questions, you can. I just don't want people to leave before I wrap up. So I'm going to wrap up, and then I'm going to stay on about 15 more minutes in case we have any questions. But I want to let y'all know. So there's going to be a few different things. First of all, if you are a part of the Be Intentional Mentorship community, this video will be recorded and it will be in the on the wall of the community page. Okay. Alicia and Sharita teach a class that goes a lot deeper into what we're doing now that everybody should definitely be involved in. And if you're not a part of this community, the Mastermind Academy, which starts in 1 month, they're going to dive deep. There's going to be the extra rooms that you can go into and learn about being a national and learn about trust. If you ain't ready for some stuff, you'll be in a different room or whatever. They're going to teach something that you should probably be paying about $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 for free.
I'll say this too, Artrina, to back you up.
Mm-hmm.
I want y'all to make a choice because you talked about that 4-week cohort, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we can spend that 4-week cohort trying to teach y'all what's already in these pre-recorded videos, or you could just go ahead and get the pre-recorded videos. So when this 4-week cohort come, we could get to work.
I think that's a great idea. I think that if you are really interested in making sure your family is protected, and if you're on this call and you're not interested, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't even want you in the community. So, because there's a different mindset here. And if this is your first day being here, we are on a mission to change the lives of our people. And that's what this whole thing is. This whole vision that I have and this whole passion and vision that our coaches have. Watch, I said it today. I didn't say it 3 times. This is March 27th. Mark my words. When you come back here in about 12 months, watch what's happening in this community and in the world because of this community. Watch it. But if you're not serious, this just gonna bore you because we dive deep in this community.
And I want to say this. I want you to know that we're creating for what's coming. And I want to give this example because Atrina said something that is taking me to my belief system right now. So y'all remember the artist formerly known as Prince, right? Prince, right? Okay. Where he went through this thing of changing his name, right? Does everybody know why he did that? Why? Because why? Why he changed his name?
I don't know.
Okay. So make a long story short. Everything that is entitled by Prince, somebody else owned it.
I was gonna say for ownership.
He didn't own any, he didn't own the masters of any music made by Prince. So what he did was left the jurisdiction of that music company and created a symbol. So now that anything that this symbols creates, that's still him, he gets paid for, right? He has all masters. But this is where I'm really at with it. When artists were, and y'all do the timeline, when Prince went to his symbol name, and artists of all walks of life would want to come collaborate with him. Do you know the question he asked those artists? What do you think he asked those artists? Anybody?
Do you own your name?
Do you own your masters?
Okay.
And when they said no, excuse my expression, but in layman's term, he's like, and I'm not fucking with y'all. And that's how I'm starting to feel. There's certain businesses, if you don't have a trust, cool. But if I'm going to create with you and you ain't got no trust, I'm not interested. Because now I don't feel safe to create with you because what we're creating ain't protected.
That's right.
So, and I know I was supposed to close out the
Okay,
meeting.
yeah.
I be passionate about this stuff, y'all. And I'm not trying to be extra, but I'm being really, really serious. Like I really, what is about to happen here is going to be next level, and it's going to be billions of dollars worth of information. And my heart, what the Most High has told me is to give a lot of this stuff away. So if you're not, what's the word? If you are not the person that's supposed to receive it, if our seed is not falling on good soil, then we're not going to receive the way we're supposed to receive for giving this information away so that our communities can go where it wants to go. So I really want y'all to be serious about this. Every week when we do something, I want you to be serious about it. I want you to give us your input. Go on the community wall, text me, say, hey, Trina, we need to talk about this next. Whatever it is, my goal here, I'm already a giver. Anybody know me know all I do is give. So my goal here is to make sure I'm giving. So if you're not a part of the Be Intentional community and somebody invited you here, make sure, matter of fact, if you invited somebody, text me when we get off this call and tell me who you invited, and I will text you and make sure you have the affiliate link, because in here, everybody eat. And if you invited somebody, I'll send you the affiliate link so they can join the community and everybody can eat, okay? Right now, it's $59 a month. That won't last long. It'll be over in May. It's going to go up. But right now, it's $59 a month to be a part of this community. We are giving away information at this point. And if you are here starting in May, for the rest of our lives, as long as I'm alive and this is working, we will be doing mastermind cohorts where you're getting 2 to 4 week boot camps, and they're diving deep into this information that, like I said, you will be paying 5 figures for somewhere else. So I'm trying to let y'all know how serious I am. But if you've already been a part of the community, this is about to go to the next level. So make sure you join. If you came in today, I'm excited that you got your free session to see how we roll, and make sure you invite more people. That's the other thing. Don't be stingy. Don't have a crab mentality. Bring everybody here so that everybody can eat and everybody can thrive. Ariel, you got a question? Oh, and by the way, if you need to jump, you can jump now. I just wanted to make sure I end with that. And in the school community on the wall, I will make sure that you have all the information you need by morning to get in touch with Sharita and Alicia to get the videos if you didn't get the link for the videos. And I just want to let y'all know that I have been to attorneys for trust. I have met with attorneys for trust. And because you are part of the community, you are paying pennies compared to what you would pay an attorney to actually get your trust created. I'm talking about the book that Sharita showed you. To actually get that trust created, you're going to pay pennies because you're a part of this community. And you ain't only going to get the book, but you're going to know how to use the freaking book instead of just going to get somebody about $5,000 to give you a book that you have no idea how to use.
That's
okay.
a fact.
So it's so much here, y'all. I'm gonna shut up because I'm getting emotional. I love y'all. Miss Ariel, you got a question before we go?
Not only a question, because I do have a question for Sharita and Alicia, but I want this to land in language, or Trina, because what you're saying is so powerful. It's extremely profound. But what our coach or Trina is saying is we have paradigms, belief systems, and constructs that we've been operating under that got us as far as we are today. what we're doing with this mastermind is a service of the heart, but it's extremely profitable what each and every one of us brings to the table, like when it comes to the mastermind coaches. With that being said, when you opt into this mastermind, you're opting into breaking down belief systems, constructs, and paradigms that you have held on for the last 30, 40, 50, 70, 80 years of life. And that's not easy. But it only happens not by staying in here, but by acting in what we call in performance, in action, out here. So it's not easy. And sometimes it's sensitive and we can laugh. Like I can laugh, be like, damn, damn. But it's a gut check because if you want more for the family that maybe hasn't even come yet, I'm saying this because I'm not a mom yet. I had a trust at 23. I didn't do it all right, but I'm not a mom. I'm an aunt, I'm a daughter, but I understand that what I've gotten so far with my epigenetics is not enough. And we have to own it. And we have to be real with ourselves to say, what I got so far is not enough. It's not going to get us to where we trying to go. And so there's a trade-off that has to happen out here in the real world where you have to give up what you thought you knew, who you thought you were called to be, who you thought you were in order to get to where, however you believe. I'm going to say God. Some of us say Yahweh, Allah, great source, Ifa, however we see it. But be responsible for that. So understand that it's not $59. It's 59 generations.
There you go.
True.
You better get into it.
God Almighty. And also, this ain't the end, y'all. We are planning a summit. We are planning a retreat. I am going to rent an island. Y'all heard me, right? An island. So we won't just have to sit around for an hour and do these calls. If you're a part of this community, we get to sit around each other for days and get empowered because we're a part of this community. Okay. So my brain is way somewhere else. So I just want you to catch on to just like 15% of it. And then we're going to be good. Okay. Any more questions before we go?
Oh my God. I just got Siobhan
wanted to say something. Siobhan?
Siobhan, go ahead.
I'm just thrown. Like, I've always known trust as like something you do, like you said before, like after you pass away or anything like that. I know Trina's been talking about it, but you guys broke it down really well tonight and everything. So I'm excited.
Good stuff. Glad to hear it. Thank you much. Anyone else?
Ariel, I just want to tell you, you're phenomenal.
Yes,
Girl, when you said epigenetics, I said, "Oh, we best friends," because not everybody know that word, and
most people don't know that word.
So, and I'm gonna just put this out here. I know trust part, but I will also be offering at some point some wellness modalities because I'm all about changing the information in our bones, in our cellular DNA, in our subconscious mind, all the things. This very much goes together. Who we are here to be and become. There's a lot of unlearning that has to happen, right?
Absolutely.
Unconditioning. And our business is very much a reflection of our personal
Absolutely.
wealth, our personal health. There's no separation, y'all. There's no separation. So I'm ready to get this thing activated.
So give me till morning. I'll have this on in the morning and I'll make sure that I get everything from Sharita and Alicia that you all need to get in touch with them to create your books. And then make sure you're a part of the community because you'll be getting an update soon in the next couple of weeks about the different cohorts and the timelines for the cohorts. All right. I love y'all. If y'all need me, shoot me a message. Everybody got my number. And make sure y'all join the group. All right.
Been a pleasure. Night.
Good night.